This is how rappers went broke in the stupidest ways.
Before filing for bankruptcy, 50 Cent was spending $108,000 per month to rent an 18-bedroom mega mansion, while T-Pain's bankruptcy was so brutal that by the end of it, he had to borrow money just to buy Burger King. However, let's begin by talking about
Hold on, don't sleep on Burger King though. Their chicken fries, they taste like rubber. I don't like Burger King, dude.
DMX, who had to file for bankruptcy on 3 separate occasions as he couldn't afford child support. You see, DMX had 17 children with 11 different women, and almost every child resulted in some kind of lawsuit or child support requirement. For example, DMX was sued for $1.5 million worth of child support in 2008 after a genetic test confirmed that he was the father of a previously unclaimed baby, which when combined with his declining music career, resulted in his first bankruptcy filing. 4 years later in 2012, DMX was sued by a different ex-partner for a further $1 million worth of child support, and a year after this lawsuit, he'd file for bankruptcy a second time. His third bankruptcy would occur in 2016, during which it would be discovered that DMX had racked up a further $1.7 million worth of unpaid child and family support, which accompanied $950,000 in bank debt and $1.7 million worth of tax debt. Since he had $0 in his bank account, DMX was sentenced to 6 months in prison for the child support, a further year in prison for the unpaid taxes, and was also ordered to pay the government $2.29 million in restitution after he was released from his time behind bars. However, DMX never had the chance to pay the amount back in full.
Taxes killed him. F that, bro. Yo, that shit, what? I died. I'll take that way out too. Fuck that, bro. Hell no. My 17 kids, I'm not leaving nothing for them.
As he died in April 2021.
Stop, Kenji, my fault.
Despite his extensive family tree, DMX never wrote a will, meaning that his family was still involved in money-related legal battles even after he was dead and buried.
Hell yeah. Yo, my kid's gonna inherit my debt. Before I die, bro, before I die, I'm gonna get a luxury, like everything. I'm gonna get a crazy jet. I'm gonna get a mega mansion. I'm getting a whole lot of crazy shit. And then I'm just gonna die in it. And they're just gonna have to pay all that shit.
Tiger was certainly better at managing his child support payments, although he definitely had a weakness when it came to luxury spending. After cultivating his career as a successful rapper, Tiger's name entered news headlines after he'd purchased a $200,000 Mercedes Maybach for his girlfriend, while being $480,000 behind in rental payments for the luxury Malibu home. As a result, Tiger was sued by his landlord.
Like, chat, the first thing you should do, bro, listen, if you get some money, don't rent no luxury shit, bro. Get like a nice little house. You know what I mean? Like I don't give a it look like a trap house. Just get something so that that way you could just come back to it. You know what I mean? If all else fails, boom, you living with the roaches again. But it's cool. You got a house. You see what I'm saying? You worry about a trap house. Yeah, write that down. Write that down.
Although he'd failed to show up to court as he was on holiday in Turks and Caicos, yet this situation wasn't the only example of Tiger spending big in one area while being financially behind in another. For example, in 2016, while shopping for a new Bentley, Tiger's Ferrari 458 was repossessed in the parking lot as Tiger hadn't been paying for the loan. Despite this, Tiger would go on to purchase another Mercedes Maybach, as well as a Land Rover, a Rolls-Royce Ghost, and a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, all of which were repossessed for non-payment.
Brother, pay your payments! I don't get this. This is dumb.
While he was seen looking at a brand new Lamborghini. In addition to this, Tiger was sued by a second landlord for $181,000 after once again missing rental payments in 2016, which was followed by a third property-related lawsuit in 2020, where Tiger had racked up over $200,000 in damages and
you know he eating good. Look at that chin coming in. His little double coming in. That motherfucker eating good too. He probably running off. He probably dining and dashing. Or like, I don't know if he dashing. I don't look like he getting a lot of work.
Rent on yet another rental property. It was then revealed that Tiger was being court ordered to pay for $200,000 worth of unpaid jewelry, which accompanied the accusation by his ex-girlfriend Black China that he'd been missing child support payments. And just to add a cherry on top of the cake, while all of this was going down, Tiger was in $890,000 worth of tax debt to the government. Despite all of this, Tiger is still seen flexing a lavish life on social media, which is a luxury unavailable to rappers.
He's lying. That motherfucker in debt. Yo, chat, I'm gonna be honest, don't believe these little celebrities, dude. Didn't he buy a tiger and let it ruin the house? He probably don't care. He ain't paying the rent in that bitch.
Producer Scott Storch, who blew through $70 million in less than 3 years. Scott had earned this money by producing for some of the biggest names in music, including Kanye West, Dr. Dre, and Jay-Z. Yet Scott Storch's insane net worth began to diminish after he'd purchased an insane supercar collection,
30 cars, including Bugattis and Ferraris and all that kind of stuff,
as well as a $10.5 million mansion where he housed more than 20 staff, including a boat captain.
Them low ass stairs. I'm gonna be honest, this shit look ass. The house is on stilts. That shit's trash.
Just in case he wanted to go out on his yacht.
The captain was on full-time staff?
Yeah.
In case you want to take the boat out?
Yeah.
And the boat was how many bedrooms?
7,
7-bedroom boat, worth about how much?
20 million.
20 million.
Scott went on to explain just how much this lifestyle was costing him.
My monthly overhead for my household employees was somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million a month I was spending.
And that if he continued to work, there wouldn't have been any problems, although this isn't what he would do.
It went from me working and delivering to doing drugs and not going to the studio.
I just stopped working, and then I got depressed and jaded.
As mentioned, Scott stopped making music and instead began to get addicted to the nightlife in Miami.
That's
And
scary.
with no money coming in plus $1 million a month going out, it was only going to be so long before Scott hit zero. By 2009, just 3 years after having a net worth of $70 million, Scott had filed for bankruptcy.
Wow.
6 years later, Scott would file for bankruptcy a second time, claiming to have a grand total of $3,600 of assets to his name.
Chat, what when you file for bankruptcy, what does that mean? I'm stupid, so I don't know. No clue. You guys don't know? I don't know. Let's figure it out together, dude, because it's going to bother me. Bankruptcy will eliminate most of your debts, such as unsecured debts, including credit card bills, medical bills, and payday loans. You may still be required to pay your secured debts, such as your mortgage and motor vehicle loan. So it just zeroes out all the debt. So I could go run up a bunch of bills and then just do bankruptcy and I'll be fine. That's a fucking cheat code, dude. Holy shit.
$100 in cash, $500 in clothing, and a $3,000 watch. Most shocking, his music companies are valued at $0, and in 2014 he made a grand total of only $10,000. Throughout this hardship, Fat Joe was one of the only rappers to keep their friendship with Scott, possibly because Fat Joe went through a similar situation himself. Fat Joe had earned $1.18 million in 2007, 1.28 million in 2008, 265,000 in 2009, and 630,000 in 2010. However, despite having made this 3.3 million in only 4 years, Fat Joe failed to pay taxes on it. He was able to come up with $718,000 and had also done extensive charity work. However, this wasn't enough to satisfy the judge, who sentenced Fat Joe to 4 months in prison. Despite taking personal responsibility for his actions by stating, "There was a lot going on in the years that I didn't file my taxes, but it was my responsibility," less than 4 years later, Fat Joe entered news headlines again after the IRS revealed that he still owed them $1.1 million in taxes. However, this number was absolutely nothing in comparison to Fat Joe's friend Lil Kim.
Lil Kim, I forgot about her, bro. I seen her on a stage doing a funky ass dance.
Who owed almost 4 times more and became, quote, too poor to file for bankruptcy. Lil Kim wasn't nearly as successful as some of the other rappers featured on this list. However, this didn't stop her from purchasing a $2.3 million mansion back in 2002, notably with the help of a mortgage. Throughout the 2000s, Kim's music career slowed dramatically, and by 2018, Kim was filing for bankruptcy as she still owed the full $2 million on her property, despite the 16 years that had passed. In addition to this, Kim now owed $1.85 million to the government for 13 years worth of unpaid taxes, which accompanied a further $185,000.
13 years of unpaid taxes. You owe $2 million. 13 year. Wait. No, it's only, wait, what?
In unpaid legal fees. The bankruptcy became even worse after discovering that by 2018, Kim was earning a comparatively small $18,000 per month.
That's fucking small. Give me $1.
Of which $2,000 went to staff, another $2,000 went to clothing, and $10,000 went to travel fees, meaning she had less than $4,000 per month to dig herself out of $4 million worth of debt.
Oh, I don't go. 4,000 is plenty to live, motherfucker.
Somehow Lil Kim managed to, quote, get her finances into good shape, and her bankruptcy filing was dismissed. However, MC Hammer wasn't quite so lucky. Despite having the 5th best-selling hip-hop album of all time, which sold 17 million copies and featured songs such as You Can't Touch This, MC Hammer wasn't able to stay out of financial trouble. He bought more than 17 luxury cars, a private jet, 2 helicopters, and 21 racehorses.
Why do you need racehorses?
Some of the horses were valued at around $1 million. Most of his expenses, however, were on his his home. He bought a property in Fremont, California for $12 million and spent another $30 million on renovations to turn it into his dream home. He added a bowling alley, basketball court, baseball field, recording studio, movie theater, 17-car garage, tennis courts, and 2 swimming pools to the
Money changes you for real? No. I saw something that kind of resonated, bro. Money doesn't change people. It just amplifies who you are as a person. I think that was like the quote or something like that. And I like that. I don't know, dude. It just hit a little different. You feel me?
40,000 square foot mansion. One of the pools was shaped like his signature baggy pants that came to be known as hammer pants. He added several marble statues of himself throughout the property and installed a gold hot tub in his bedroom. And to keep everything running smoothly, he employed a staff of nearly 200 people on the property, which cost him an estimated $500,000 a month. Unsurprisingly, less than 5 years later, MC Hammer had filed for bankruptcy, at which point it would be revealed that he hadn't only spent his entire $70 million fortune, but had also taken on a further $13 million in loans, which had been borrowed from over 200 different lending institutions. Despite having spent a total of $42 million on his California dream home, the property resold for only $6.5 million. However, if we're on the topic of expensive homes being repossessed by the bank, we need to talk about Birdman, who's ranked as the 15th richest rapper in the world with a net worth of $110 million. But this is what makes Birdman's story unique. If he was worth over $100 million, why was his Miami mansion being repossessed by the bank for non-payment? Birdman had purchased the home back in 2012 for $14.5 million, yet by 2017, a foreclosure suit had been filed by the bank, and quote, all personal items within the home, including platinum records gracing the walls, a pool table, and dozens of pairs of shoes, were all confiscated and placed in storage. The mansion was eventually
I'll be on Storage Wars. 25, 50, 50, like, bro, I'm getting all that shit.
Sold by the bank for $10.85 million in July 2020. However, Birdman's lawyer has come out to explain the foreclosure, stating that it was the result of illegal loan terms set by the bank, so perhaps take Birdman's bankruptcy with a grain of salt. However, there's no ambiguity around how T-Pain went broke, as he's now come on multiple podcasts to explain just how brutal his bankruptcy was. T-Pain had built up a net worth of over $40 million at his peak in 2007, with all of his closest rap friends advising him that as long as he kept rapping, the money would keep on coming in.
Everybody before me that I had to look up to, they were just like, no, this is great. Once you start rapping, it's just money all the time. Nothing bad's ever gonna happen. Your family's not gonna come after you. Just rap, and it's just girls and swimming pools after this.
For this reason, his spending began to get out of control.
I bought my Bugatti.
You bought it for $2.1 million.
$2.1 million.
And then you, very shortly thereafter, you sold it for, all they gave you was $800,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like renting a car for $1.3 million.
Yeah.
With the purchase of his Bugatti accompanying a $400,000 chain and houses for his workmates.
I got this house I want to get. I got this other house for my assistants and, you know, all my runners and my producers and stuff. So we bought a house after that, and we just started going crazy with the money. I wasn't paying attention to it.
Which was extra bad, as T-Pain never even checked in on how much money he had.
I didn't want to know because I was led to believe that it's only gonna grow. Because these rappers told me that I'm just gonna make money forever. It's just gonna keep going up and up.
In the process, T-Pain began to create less music, and within a few years, his accountant was advising him that he was almost out of money.
My accountant was like, dude, you're like out of money. And I was like, no, I'm not.
And while T-Pain seemed confident that he had plenty of cash left, reality set in for him after he'd have to borrow money just to buy food.
When you say you was broke, you had like $0 broke?
I had to borrow money to get my kids Burger King.
What's the most you ever had in the bank at one time?
40 million.
However, T-Pain was lucky to get away with a loss of only 40 million, as the final person on our list makes this number look like loose change.
50 Cent. That's the
50
GOAT,
didn't
bro.
only release
Yo,
the 10
I like I don't know if y'all been listening to his audiobook or whatever the fuck, but his audiobook kind of fire. He says, hold on. He says something that hit, chat. He says something that hit. One of his quotes, right? I like it. It says, if all your shine comes from someone else's sun, what happens when that person moves away? He was talking about like beefing with other rappers and shit, and then bringing up his name and they're like for relevancy and all that shit. And it's just like, he's spitting with that one. My fault. Okay, let's watch.
10th best-selling American hip-hop album of all time, but he also made over $100 million on a vitamin water investment, plus a further $78 million from a luxury underwear deal.
Whoa.
In the late 2000s, 50 Cent made an estimated $300 million in only 2 years, so when he'd announced that he was filing for bankruptcy in mid-2015, with debts totaling over $32 million, the entire world was thinking the same thing. How did this happen? Well, after 50 Cent uploaded a sex tape with Rick Ross's girlfriend, 50 was successfully sued for $7 million, which accompanied another court order for 50 Cent to pay $17 million to a headphone manufacturer after one of their collabs went sour. 50 Cent's clothing company G-Unit Clothing then fell out of the spotlight, which accompanied the closing of his movie company G-Unit Productions, as well as his boxing company SMS Promotions.
Bro, can we bring back like rapper games and stuff like that, bro? You remember, was it Get Rich? 50 Cent had a fucking game, bro. Oh, it's called Bulletproof. Fire. Anyone play that on a PS2? Bro, it was sick. It was sick, bro. Like, can we look at this? Oh, this shit was on a PSP? Bro, Bulletproof G-Unit edition. What? It's just cool. We don't do this anymore. Imagine running around it. Well, to be honest, the rappers aren't cool anymore, to be honest. We have like fucking Little Pump. Like, what we gonna run around as? Like Uzi? The f out of here, dude. What am I saying? Play the video.
Throughout the whole process, the global financial crisis had taken a toll on the value of 50 Cent's investments, and by 2015, he was earning a comparatively small $185,000 per month. You could certainly argue that this was enough for 50 to get back on his feet. However, $108,000 of this monthly income was going toward an 18-bedroom mega mansion, while the remaining $77,000 was going toward menial expenses such as his gardener, with bankruptcy documents revealing that 50 Cent still owed money to his stylist, fitness coach, and even his barber. Despite this, he began to troll on social media with posts such as this one, spelling out the word broke with $100 bills, and within 2 years, 50 Cent had paid back $23 million worth of his $32 million debt. 50 Cent eventually got back to zero, and according to Google, has built up a net worth of $40 million over the last 5 years.
He's really like that. Stop playing with 50. 50 out here. Stop playing with him. F you talking about?